Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And I haven't been on here for a while, but sorry about that. You know how it is with me. I'm freezing icicles in my room right now, so that is why I have my coat on. So I apologize for looking the way I look, but this is how I look to school today because, you know, some days you just can't do your hair and you can't do your makeup and you just gotta roll with it. So that's what's going on. But in this video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how I do my I can statements. So I have been telling you guys that this video was coming, and here it is, ready to go. I am excited to do it for you guys. And that's kind of what's going on. So basically, I wanted to tell you guys beforehand that in my district, they really want us to do, like, post our I can statements, and we have been told by our principal that he also wants us to start kind of sharing it with the students, because I guess he saw some statistics where, like, study shows if you share the I can statement with your students and make sure that they know it, that they like retain the information better or something like that. So he is all about it. He's not like super strict. Like, if you forget to post it one day, he's not going to come after you, and he won't come after you even if you don't post it ever, because he's just super chill and nice. But I know that it is something that he expects of us, and I think he just trusts that we have it done and that we are doing it on a daily basis. So that is kind of what's going on. I have always posted my I can statements, but I have never really had the students say them out loud and understand them. So that has been new for me this year, but I have found a way that I really like with whole brain teaching, and so I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys. So I'm going to show you my board for the I can statements, and then I will share with you what I do. And I couldn't record because I didn't want to get anybody's faces, so it's kind of hard to explain what I do without another person here with me, but hopefully you guys get the gist once I get into that. I'll explain it the best I can, and hopefully it makes sense. But anyways, I'm going to turn you around and show you my board, my I can board, and then we'll get started from there. Alright, so here is my I can board, and as you can see, there's like two boards here. This section over here has nothing to do with my I can statements, only this one does. So I have TSWBAT, and with my students we call that SWABOT. That's how we pronounce it. So we'll say SWABOT, and I'll explain that in a minute. And my students know that this means the students will be able to. So they know that that's what that means, and they are familiar with it. And so here are my I can statements. I just got this dry erase board from Target. I got these magnets from United Art and Education. And I got these arrows from Lakeshore Learning. I'm going to do the math one. So math says I can use measurement scales to answer questions. So that is the one that I will kind of show you what we do as an example. But this is kind of my board. I post them every single day. Sometimes the students will come in and like read what's going on. Sometimes they won't, and they'll wait for us to do it as a class. But I don't know. I don't know if I really noticed a difference yet with their learning, because he kind of has gotten strict. Like, I wouldn't say strict, but he kind of has been like more adamant about us doing it here lately. So I've been doing this for about 3 months now, and I don't really know if I've noticed a huge difference, but I don't know. Like I said, like, it's hard for me to tell right now if I notice a difference. I will kind of update you guys later on in the school year. I didn't really, I was doing my I can statements completely different than what I just showed you earlier in the year. I would just post them on this board every day, and I didn't really have a setup, just so they knew what they were learning, and we never said them aloud. So now I have them on the board I just showed you, and we say them aloud, so it is a lot different. I think I told you in a previous video that I was kind of changing, or in the middle of changing, my I can statement. So that is the board that I ended up doing. In the letters, the TSWBAT, the students will be able to, I just cut those out with my Cricut and laminated them. So anyways, let's go ahead and show you what I do. So this is going to be hard to explain, like I said, without another person. But basically, I will come in like at the beginning of class, and I will normally say, oh, I'm just gonna like show you how I say it to my students, because if not, then you're not really gonna get the gist. So I'll come in the morning and I'll say, oh my gosh, class, I want you to tell your partner how excited you are for math today. Share. So that's what I will do. And then they will clap back to me and say, okay. So they'll go, okay. And by partner, what I mean is just who is sitting next to them that day. I do flexible seating, so they are in a different seat every single day. But like, so I would just talk to somebody that is sitting directly next to me, and then this person would talk to the next person, and you get the idea. So I will give them like 30 seconds, and I hear them like saying, I am so excited for math today, or I am so excited for language arts. I'm gonna do the math example today though. And then when I'm ready to get them back and get their attention, I will say, class, class, and they will say, yes, yes. And then I will say mirrors, and anytime I say mirrors, they say mirrors back to me, and they copy every single thing that I do until I say mirrors off. Okay, so I will go class, class, they'll say yes, yes, and I'll say mirrors, and then they'll go mirrors, and I'll say swabat, and then they'll say swabat, however I say it. Sometimes I'm super funny and I'm like swabat, or I like try and do it in like a country accent. I change it up a lot just to get their attention, and they have to mimic me. And then I will say I can, and they'll say I can, and I'll say use measurement scales, and they'll say use measurement scales to answer questions, and then they'll say to answer questions. Then I'll say mirrors off, and then they will say mirrors off, and they know not to copy me anymore. And I'll say, okay class, you are going to share with your partner what we are learning in math today. Share. And then they'll say okay. And then I will give them again like 30 seconds, and they go through the whole entire thing with their partner. So they'll say, I can use measurement scales to answer questions. And then they'll say, what are we learning in math today? And the next partner will again say, I can use measurement scales to answer questions. So I will give them about 30 seconds again, and then I will say, oh, class. And then they'll say, oh, yes. And then I will just call on a random person in my class. I try and do a different person every single day. And I'll say, Jayla, tell me what we are learning in math today. And then she will say, I can use measurement scales to answer questions. And then I will say, oh my goodness, can we all give Jayla a clap, clap? Oh yeah. And then everyone in my class will go, oh yeah. So that is how I do it. And throughout this whole entire like thing that I do at the beginning of class, I will let them do our classroom management system, which is like pulling a Kerplunk stick. And if you want a video on classroom management ideas that I personally use, I use 3 throughout the year. I would be more than happy to share that with you. Just let me know. But that is what I do for my I can statements, and the students like it because it gets them involved, and they have to talk, and they get to stand up, and they get to talk with their partners. And even though they're just talking about what we're doing that day in class, they still seem to enjoy it. So I will say I've noticed a difference in their excitement for class, because they get excited because they're like talking about it, and they're talking with the partner, then they're getting to pull a stick for Kerplunk because they're doing it so well, and they just seem a lot more excited about learning. But like I said, as far as like them doing better, I'm not so sure. Like I said, I could let you know maybe in like April and see if I have noticed a tremendous difference. I will say, like I said, it gets them more excited, and if my students are more excited to learn, they are going to do better automatically. So in that sense, it is better, I guess. But as far as like the actual work, I don't know. But anyways, that is what I do. And it took me about, I would say, a week to teach this whole entire thing to my students. And at the very beginning, I really wanted them to know that swabat meant the students will be able to. So when I would do it, I would say mirrors, and I would say swabat, and they would say swabat, and then I would say mirrors off. And then I would say, who can tell me what swabat means again, just to get them remembering. And then somebody would say, the students will be able to. And I'll say, okay, continue, mirrors. So that's kind of how I do it. If you would like me to video like how I do it with the students, maybe I can try and get them like with their backs faced to the camera instead of their faces to show you how I do it that way. I would be more than happy to do that to give you maybe a little bit of a better idea. This is me explaining it, and like I said, it's kind of difficult to explain, but hopefully you got the gist. And if you want me to show you how I do it with my students, and I will just have them like make sure that they're facing that way and video the backs of them, let me know and I will just post that as a video by itself. It'll probably be super short if I do that, but if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. I'd be more than happy to. And that is really about it for my I can statement. So I hope that this helped you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you can revamp your I can statements. If you have a good idea on how you do your I can statements, I would love to hear them in the comments below. That would be awesome. But other than that, I hope that you guys liked this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!